Hello, my loves, and welcome to Fly Newbie and Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. I'm your host today, Laura Lala Key, singing international real estate agent, and today is Friday. Before we even move on, we're still going to talk about the boycott because we're still doing it. Put that hashtag boycott in your comments because I want to see who else is riding with us. It's been over a year. I'm still riding hard, okay? We're not spending any money where places do not see the value of us. So we're still doing that. I want to see what you're doing. Listen, today we're actually having a real conversation about gambling in our community. Sports betting apps, casino apps, prize picks, parlays, live betting. And now people can even bet on live traffic. And y'all, let's not even begin to mention there is a whole big pool of political betting as well. So what used to feel like an occasional thing has turned into something that people are doing daily, right from their own phones. So you scroll social media, you see the screenshots of big wins and quick payouts, and it starts to look like easy money. They're actually using celebrities to pimp this out too. But what we don't see as often are the steady losses, the money that never gets posted, and the impact those small bets can have over time. So today, we're actually asking some honest questions. Are we building wealth? Are we constantly sending money to betting companies? Is this just entertainment or is it becoming a financial habit? Who's hurting us in the long run? And what does it mean for Black households if this continues to grow? We're definitely going to talk about it. Now, listen, I'm going to be very honest up front. Y'all know when I'm hosting, I usually know pretty much about the topic and I've heard of it, but honestly, there's not much in my world that I've seen. None of my family. I don't date, so it's not in my household. So I'm just curious to know, ladies. I'm going to ask you: is this something that you have seen in a relationship or in your families? Because this one is not for me. I do have one little thing, but that was many years ago. I'm going to start with you, Tiara.
Yeah, it's something that I'm definitely seeing more with Black men than anything if we're talking about sports betting. But if we're talking about gambling in general, I have at least three family members that consistently, female family members that go to the casino and, they are gambling, they are borrowing money, they are making lots of money, right? These women are successful women who are literally going and spending it up. They win big, they lose big, so I have female family members that do that. But the men, what I notice in men that I've been dating or just men that I know, they hop on the apps and they're just like, oh, I just won $20. I'm betting on the game, I'm betting on the college games, I'm betting on the NFL games, I'm just betting. And so it just seems like the more I notice, it's like a constant thing, like a part of their everyday ecosystem where we could just be sitting at a stoplight and they're just like on the phone, like, damn it, he lost. They lost. All right. Well, I'm about to bet again. I'd be like, dang, this is like really a thing. So yeah, it's something that I've been seeing.
Wow. Now I have heard also like the games, like there's like online live Monopoly and bingo and all those things like that. And wasn't even really doing those in real life myself, but I know that that is common, especially when you can bet on anything you want to in your life. What about you, Yolanda? Is this something that you have seen in your circles?
Not in my circles, no, because my people, we eat. We don't gamble.
You a
Our addiction
foodie.
is food. But I first came across this when I dated a guy briefly who had this type of addiction. And he was very upfront with me. He said, I think I'm addicted to sports gambling. He said, I'm on the app every day gambling. And he said, I'm actually in debt because of it. So I was very happy that he was very upfront and forthright with me and telling me this because I just knew, I was going to debt that relationship, he actually ended up walking away because he knew that his addiction was too big. But what I'm also seeing is a lot more girls are getting into this. If you scroll if you go into YouTube and scroll some of the influencers, they are actually promoting this now. So it's going to be a big thing, and it is a big thing. Yeah, they're promoting this.
As if we don't have enough addictions in the world. Now we got influencers and Big Booty Betty out here
Give
telling
me
us
some
that we
ice cream. That's
do
what
better.
I want. Ice cream.
Right. What about you, Michael? Is this something that is something in your circles that you're familiar with?
Well, honestly, nobody inside of my close circles, right? Extended like business circles. Yes, I am starting to see more professional business people that are in my industry pick up on playing these games and then promoting them and even promoting communities that supposedly have the upper hand on, the gambling stats and things like that. And so they're even using opportunities like that as another stream of income outside of the gambling itself.
Baby, even when I visit Vegas, I'm one of those who goes and says, I'm only going to put a penny in this penny machine because I'm not giving you $5 because I need my $5. I'm just that way. I mean, unfortunately, but I will say, in the last 10 years, I deal with a lot of properties that are foreclosures. So I'm an REO agent as well, and that's real estate owned. And there was one gentleman that I had to go and tell him that his house was sold, and he was very sweet to me, and he was very nice. He said, well, okay, I understand. And then as we started talking, he told me he lost his house because he's a gambler. And as he's losing his house and I'm giving him cash for keys, my man is saying, I guess I'll go and put this on the numbers and see if I could get this back. It is a serious addiction. I mean, anything can be addicting. And you can take anything down the rabbit hole. But when you're looking at the finances, this man lost his house. He had nowhere to go. He had no family. He was planning on living in his car, and this was in Los Angeles, and he had no money put aside. But what was he going to do with the cash with keys? Go take it and bet on it, and then he wouldn't even have had that. But I want to start off I want to ask the community, because I like to talk with you. Now, is this something that you have seen in your circles? Is this something that maybe you're willing to share with us if you're battling? Is there anything that you do just for gaming fun that may not be an addiction yet, but could possibly be in the future? Dennis says, bet on black with all my heart. And he says, investing in entrepreneurship is more of a secured investment. Yeah, I think so too. But let's check out this video and get back into the conversation.
Is it playing?
Nope. Do dee dee do 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 dee do 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 do. It's
Hold
I guess
coming.
on.
we have to
It's
talk.
coming.
You gonna play? All right, hold on. I'm just gonna upload it directly. This is why. Okay. All right,
Okay.
cool. Give me a second.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for that, I do want to ask you, Yolanda, why do you think that these betting apps are so popular right now?
You know what it does when you first go on those things, you do win money. That's why it's more popular. You really do win money, and this is why people keep going back. But eventually, it's like any other type of gamble. You win some and you lose a lot, you know, and that's why people keep going back. And I'm talking about they win. Some people win big money on those apps. So that's what's so attractive about it. But eventually they lose it. They'll lose it and plus more. So that's why it's so
I have
popular.
to admit, like, there's a couple of games that I do like on the phone. They're not betting games, but there's certain games that you have to watch the ads before you get to the next level. And I have to say, about 90% of the ads that they run are for betting. Come play such and such
Oh
Monopoly and
yeah.
win big money. And I
Yeah.
mean, the Kardashians are pimping it. Like, big name influencers are on there, saying that they have won money. So this is one way. Even if you play in free games and you have to watch, you think, oh, well, I'm already playing a game. Well, why won't I try what and see if I can win some money? I mean, it's being put in our face. And another thing, guys, We're always on
sports betting
this.
and gambling has like
Oh, we got the
multiplied in the
video.
Black community to anyone who will listen to me. Like, I genuinely think it is one of the worst things to have ever happened to Black people. And granted, I can only speak about the Black community because I'm Black. I don't know what's going on in anybody else's community, but I think it's a bit suspicious how much gambling is being advertised on like a mass national level, but then even more specifically how it's being targeted towards Black people. Because my husband watches a lot of sports podcasts, and I'm like, why are they always being so sponsored, like heavily sponsored by BetMGM and FanDuel and etc.? Like, that to me feels very targeted and very systemic, because we are losing money. Y'all are losing money. Like, it is a gambling addiction. No one is making money the way that these platforms will have you think you're making money. And you will spend more in your attempts to win big than you will ever win on their platforms. It is a losing game every time. And like, people just do not see that. Oh, it pisses me off because no one is doing the math in aggregate. They actually do not see how much they spend towards the activity, right? I had one client, we just went through his budget for the month. And when I tell you how much he spent on gambling, I was shocked. And I'm like, this could have been money that was saved and invested in other places, but it was not, because it was spent gambling. And I'm like, okay, well, did you at least make as much as you spent? He said, no, I didn't make anywhere close to that. So I just want us to be very weary of the money that is being spent on these gambling platforms, because you're not making it back the way that you think you do. A small win here and a small win there is not the basis for you to try to make this a main source of income for you. Let's be using the sense.
That's interesting. She said her clients, who really tells somebody how much they're gambling with, that, and it's true. It's just things add up very quickly. But Micah, she mentioned that this is being marketed heavily to the Black communities. And that made me think of something. When I catch Shannon Sharp show, he himself talks about the sports betting and how he'll give you a credit with his code. So do you think that it really is being marketed toward or heavily toward our communities?
I do. And the truth of the matter is that gambling has always been heavily marketed towards our communities, and it's always been a part of our communities. I specifically remember growing up, and the older Black women in my family absolutely participated in, lottery, running numbers, horse racing, right? It was honestly just something, a part of the culture. So it's like when something new like this comes out, it's like, oh, who would be a great target, to market this type of thing to? Black people, because they're already involved in it for multiple generations. So I just kind of look at it like, hey, it is what it is. I feel like people honestly need to do more research. And when I say research, even if, like Yolanda mentioned earlier, YouTube, if you go on YouTube and look at people who are telling stories about their sports betting, so that you could get a more realistic idea of what those wins actually are. Because a lot of times it's designed like, yeah, you'll sit up there and gamble all year, but at the end of it, you probably broke even or lost a little. It is not designed for you to, prosper, or like seriously prosper in the long run. And you'll never win if you win and you don't know how to walk away.
Because you think that if you made that win, you can still win big. You can win
Right.
bigger. I'm just going to invest this right back in. I won't be losing anything. I'm just investing what I won. Well, how much did you put in? But, guys, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. All right. We got the horses. We got the Kentucky Derby City, right? We are the Derby City. And when I say it is one of the main sources of the city, I mean it. Like, they've made, it used to be when I grew up, there was only a week's worth of festivities before the horse race. Now they're up to like 3 weeks of festivities just because of how much money it brings in. With the festivities, with the parades, with the fireworks, and the extra horse races. So now that's an event, right? That is an event. People get dressed up. They go. Why they want to go every time? Because they always rains on their head, but they do anyway. But we're talking about apps. So Tiara, how easy is it to really lose track of money with the apps compared to maybe if you're going to the track? You're underwater. I'm going to throw that to Yolanda. She'll be right back.
Okay. You know what I think? I think that when you're at the track, right? you have to take money out. You have to see your money in some sort of way. When you're doing it online, it feels like your money is almost infinite. Like you really don't see it. You just like swiping, your money is going somewhere, and you know that some type of money is being poured back to you, and then you're pouring it back into the app. So I really don't think that people see their money when they're doing it on the app versus when you're at the derby, for instance, and you're standing there, you only got $500 left in that account. You can only bet $500. That's it. So I think it's because of just the visual effects of everything. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's with anything. I mean, we have gone to pretty much an electronic way of paying things. We don't
We have.
physically touch the money anymore.
Yeah.
So when you're spending, like the perfect example, like when I sit down with my clients and we go through their budget and I make them name everything, because some people just don't think, oh, well, I just go to Starbucks every once in a while. And then you go, okay, well, let's count that. And then when they
Right.
really look at that number on how much you're spending, it's all contactless. You just go up to it, even with your iWatch, you can go, okay, I'm paying for things, and you're not really putting your hands on that money. And I think that these apps can help you lose yourself and
Yes.
lose sight of the true fact that you are really dealing with real money. This is not just money that's coming from air. So now I have actually heard some people say when they are betting that they're investing. So Tira, do you think that people treat gambling like it's some type of investment form for them?
Testing, testing, one, two, three.
Better.
Better. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think they do. I mean, I think that's the way they see it in their minds. Like, I'm invest this money, and if all goes well, but that's luck, right? That we're they're basically investing based on algorithm or whatever it is, right? That is happening with the app, or if they're in a casino. But you said something earlier, and I just want to say this. I've literally been at home and my family has gone to the casino, because that it's a thing in my family. They go to the casino, and that's one of the ways that they gather. Literally, my family has called me like, "Girl, I done lost all my money. Can you send me $200 until Friday?" Like, it's a thing, right? So you said something about like, I got this $500. No, baby, no, no. I got relatives that'll run out of money and be like, and they got the money, but I'm saying, like, and they'll give it back, but it's just the whole idea of being so overtaken by something that you need to call and be like, Micah, let me have $5. I need $5. I hopefully never get to the point where I feel like I gotta call one of y'all and be like, listen, I'm at the casino and I ran out of all my money. I need you to send me five. I would hope I would never get to that point. But I think it takes over people. So yes, they see it as an investment. And it's always like this dopamine, like something like this dopamine shot. I assume the same way we get on the internet. There's links to gambling and even using Facebook. Like that same feeling that when you get a like, that's how it feels to like to pull a lever on a slot. And so those things, social media and gambling, like the strategies for gambling are used the same. Facebook has studied gambling and the tricks of the mind. So it's all really related. So we all kind of are not predisposed, but we all kind of have it in us because we do it every day in a different way though.
In a different way. Like I said, you can obviously pick anything and make it an addiction. And it could be food, it could be, the internet. You're right, because you're thinking to yourself, well, if I could just get this 1,000 and I get monetized, y'all made a whopping 4 cent on Facebook today. Like, it's like, and I know I said that for real. For me, I made 4 cent this month on Facebook. At this rate, probably I'll be able to buy a coffee in the year 3000 if they keep the prices from 2006. But it's still a gambling thing, right? You get that little dopamine, like, well, I made 4 cents. That was 4 cents I didn't have before. But got to be careful with that, because you can get very addicted to that. Because I could tell y'all, with the young ladies that I was dealing with on the live streaming app that I was the community manager, them girls wanted that money. Some were making $10,000 a month. And if they went below that, they thought their world was falling apart. It's an addiction because everything that they did, they wanted to film it. I got up this morning. I'm going to go wash my face this morning because I got people seeing me. So everything can be an addiction if you're not careful. We have another video. I want to check this out and we'll get back into this conversation.
We can totally see that now, and get ready with me videos and all kind of things that people put up. I mean, people put anything on the
I've
internet a
done
lot of
it.
times.
I've done
Again,
it.
side note, go Hawks. It's inevitable. We're going to the Super Bowl, and I love that for us. Anyway, so as I was watching the games this weekend, and as I was seeing just how almost every single commercial was related to sports betting, it was just a reminder to me that we will look back at sports betting as one of the things that kicked the male loneliness crisis into overdrive. And what I mean by that is this, is that under a patriarchal system, one of the ways that patriarchy hurts men is by conditioning them into believing that community, building relationships with people in ways that don't have to do with sex or intimate relationships is gay, that it's unmasculine, that it is feminine to want to have community, which is why instead of men being friends with each other to fight the male loneliness crisis, there's so much focus on relationships with women, right? Like, they are not conditioned into wanting community. Sports traditionally, particularly in the United States, has been the one seemingly safe, neutral ground for men to come to each other and build friendships in a way where their masculinity will not be questioned. Like, so many men in my life, so many of my guy friends, so many of my exes literally talk about all the time how they have met their closest friends through sports. What has happened with the ways that the professional leagues have intertwined sports betting and gambling into every single aspect of their sports is that now it's all about betting. It's not about creating community. It is wild to go to a bar or to go to a tailgate or even just like a game watch party and sitting there and watching the men be completely silent, staring at their phones the entire time. Because all they are doing is betting money. Betting money. So once again, one of the few safe, like, community spaces is now being infiltrated with gambling.
Wow. Y'all, I was just schooled and educated because this is just not a part of my realm. But Micah, she's talking about, this is a man's thing. This is kind of how, they don't have these relationships anymore. Do you see that this is maybe something also generational? Because it seems like we're all talking about, people maybe our age, maybe, well, maybe in their 30s and up. But do you see that this may be a problem across the spectrum in generations with our young men?
I feel like it can become a problem. And the truth of the matter is that our society has been bonding, males in our society have been bonding over sports for centuries, right? And this is what has been designed by the leaders of the world to give to people to deal with, for them to help them deal with the aggression that they feel from what they have to go through out in society and out in the world, right? So instead of, maybe giving them talk tools, like therapy and coaching for coping mechanisms and stuff like that, it's like, let's give them sports. Let's give them all of the excitement and all of the rush and all of the community right there in an arena, right? And then that's kind of all they know. They don't a lot of times they don't think about like, what else can I do to deal with my issues and the things that I'm unhappy about with in life. And instead they just go check out during sports season. So it's kind of like the perfect formula to get them all when they're already in a state where they're not thinking, right? To put something else in their lap. And it's like, well, here's another level to this rush, right? And this one might have a better outcome for you to help you deal with the things that you already hate. There's the opportunity for more money. And look, everybody's doing it. It is so easy. It's scary. It reminds me of like a lab rat experiment, what is happening in real time. And so only those that actually want to sit down and take the initiative and be like thinkers for themselves will actually kind of maybe look and realize what's going on and think like, okay, how can I escape? How can I step outside of this? How can I not pass down this behavior to my son, right? Or the other young men in my community. So yeah, like it's absolutely happening, but everybody has to take individual responsibility. So this is not just happening to Black men, it's happening to all men, but it's like, why not continue to include us in the conversation or in the marketing, because they know that we'll participate.
Mm, mm. That's kind of deep analytics when you look into the marketing plans. They get into deep diving into what are the demographics of what they can tap into. You know all about demographics, Tiara. So, do you think that this is planned from day one on how they're going to target certain people, especially the young men? What do you think that they're seeing in this demographic that they can tap into and take advantage of to get this money?
That's a great question. I mean, you know, for the number one, for number zero, we're being studied. Every move that we make, we're being tracked by, our country, the websites that we visit. Everything is being tracked. And so they know what our habits are. This listen, companies study Black people like they study, I mean, they study us. They know us better than we know ourselves, in a sense of like what we like, what we don't like. And so it's very easy, once you know the demographics and you know the habits of a people, how to target them, how to prepare for trends, and companies are very, very good. They spend lots of money, millions of dollars, to know exactly who we are and what we like. And so it's like feeding candy to a baby after a while. Like, we know that you'll like this. We know how often you visit this site. We know how often you don't. We know. And so I think it's really just more about us knowing, us being conscious, like us being aware, us being financially aware, us just being aware of ourselves and our habits, because, they know, and we make it very easy for them. And we post everything. We're part of the problem. I think, Micah said it earlier, we got to be accountable, because we're kind of a part of that problem.
That's it. Oh, a lot of times we do have to track back, don't we? And sometimes, even though we're being targeted, we still have the responsibility of ourselves. Um, and sometimes when you're sad and lonely, sometimes maybe that's the way that you kind of make those connections. I mean, what I'm seeing with these young men today, is, I know a 21-year-old kid who had the opportunity to travel abroad and go to school in a different country, Italy. And don't you know, and it was all paid for. And he decided that he didn't want to do that, because he was afraid of the world. He didn't want to deal with that. And he'd rather be in his basement playing games than going out and being actually in the world. His world and his community was these gaming platforms. And that says a lot about us. But one thing one of the videos did say there, like, people are trying to use this as like a side income. So Yolanda, do you think that gambling is actually being treated like it's some kind of side hustle?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because like I told you before, that money comes in. They do win money. Okay. They do win money, and their esteem goes up. They feel good, and they really do feel like they are making money. It's no different than somebody going and putting money into the stock market and earning interest or a dividend on a stock. It's almost like the same thing if you think about it. Okay. It's like you pick your poison, which one you want, But yes, they do think of it as an investment and also as a side hustle for sure.
Them side hustle numbers don't be looking good when you're losing all the time. Let's check
Nice.
out some stats because Lala likes stats. You know I do. So let's see what we've got on the stat map here because I think numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anonymous Dopamine. That's what I meant. Thank you. Good Lord.
Households experiencing financial stress are more likely to gamble in the hopes of quick money. When you're
Yeah.
desperate, you really do want to bring something in quickly, and you think that may be it. Mobile betting apps allow gambling access 24 hours a day. There is
Yep.
no closing time. There is no last call for alcohol, right? Studies show a percentage of gamblers develop problematic or addictive behaviors. And that's not just with the gambling. It could be other things as well that spill into their lives. Online gambling revenue has grown significantly over the past few years. Now, I want to go back to that one first before we move on to this next stat, because literally it said in the last few years.
Yeah.
What has happened in the last few years? COVID.
Mm-hmm.
People were home. People were looking for things to do. That's when people really started looking at influencers. That's when people really depended on their phones. They weren't going out. They weren't having coffee. Everything was Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. And I think that has a lot to do with that addiction.
That's so true.
And so now we're in the cycle where so many people are still now not going outside. Nobody's going out to touch grass. They've all been trained that you can do it all on your computer. So, Micah, with all these apps, with the things that have happened with COVID and people staying home and the Zooms and working at home and all these things. Now you can work in your pajamas. People don't know you're working in your pajamas. You might have a cute top on, you had shorts on the bottom, right? How can we break out of these type of cycles now that we've been immersed in them?
You honestly have to either go cold turkey, right? You either have to go cold turkey or you just kind of have to make a deliberate decision to put guardrails on yourself. Okay. I do not sports bet. And at times I do gamble, but my gambling is like maybe once every 6 months. It's for fun. It's when I have extra money and it's a set amount aside and I'm going with a specific strategy, right? So if what I do doesn't work within my strategy, we go home. We don't go and try to find something else. And I keep the mindset like, this is a game I'm playing. This is something I'm doing for fun. If I win, great. If I don't, it's okay. The problem is that when you take something like this and you incorporate it into your lifestyle on the regular, then it becomes dangerous, especially when what you are gambling with is touching things that you need for every day and even possibly the future. Right. So I really feel like if you find that as you, sit down and really take a real look at your wins and your losses over a period of time to find out and see what it's actually doing. Is this something that's really profitable for you? I can promise you more than likely, if you're doing this on the regular, it's not. Right. And then if you need help, take advantage of those gambling addiction hotlines that they put at the beginning and typically the end of every freaking commercial that comes out. And even on the casino machines, whatever it is that you need to do, addiction is a really serious thing. And a lot of times you absolutely do need outside help for it. Take advantage of it.
And that's with anything, but that just triggered something that I remember. Like in Kentucky, Kentucky did not have any gambling things, but Indiana did. So in Louisville, they literally took an old boat, an old steamboat or whatever, and put it over in Indiana, just right across the bridge, and they opened a casino. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know 2 or 3 people who were afraid, literally afraid, shaking, closing their eyes, going over bridges. They had a fear of bridges. baby, how quick did that get turned off? Because they was going to the casino every Friday night, and all of a sudden that bridge wasn't a problem. So it's all
Okay.
a mindset on what you're
Yes.
doing. If you know you've got limits, but then guys, when it becomes an addiction, whether it's drugs or anything, those boundaries are off. Those boundaries are off. People struggle. So it doesn't matter how much sometimes they put these warnings on the front and back of these ads. If you're addicted, you're not hearing that. So
Yeah.
Tiara, with that being said, because once you're in that role, how does this affect, your families and your relationships?
Yeah, I think, like any other addiction, people don't see people don't compare those addictions, right? Where you just said something earlier, like somebody lost everything and somehow he couldn't see because it maybe wasn't like alcohol visible, right? Like any visible infliction. It wasn't like a crack addict, right? It's not like what alcohol, drugs, any of that like obviously is, but it's the same, right? In a sense, because you're still putting yourself in a situation that's dangerous. He was willing to still gamble and even live in his car. So I feel like his mind was definitely impaired. Anybody that's like, I'm willing to live in my car and I have money in my hand and I'm still going to go and gamble it, has a serious problem. And I think that is part of it, should be treated accordingly. It should be treated just like you would treat the other kinds of addictions, find a 12-step program of some sort for gambling. But like you
Yeah.
said, even if the signs are there, like on the apps, even if it says, if you are struggling with the gambling addiction, call this hotline, right? People don't, that's not, they don't see it as being as harmful, but you can ruin your life, ruin your family. As a matter of fact, our next video is a man saying that his life was ruined from gambling. So,
Let's hear what he has to say.
I wasn't quite ready, but I
Okay,
was,
but
I,
well, while you're
no,
pulling
no,
it,
no.
because okay, I'll be a good girl.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead. What were you
I
gonna
was
say,
gonna say
Nala?
anonymous actually does have something that is very true. Like I mentioned it earlier, he said people are out here gambling on anything. People
Mm-hmm.
out here gambling on the war on Iran. Political betting is a real thing, y'all. When I heard about that a few weeks ago, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? People were gambling on Gaza. People are gambling on all the outcome of Project 2025, how fast we're going to reach it. These are real things, and that anybody can bet on anything at any time.
You know what, Lala? I was in the airport this past summer, and in the Caribbean, they have, well, I know they have it also in America, but they have like slot machines. And I thought that was so weird. I was like, we're in the airport. People are gambling their way on home. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, good Lord. We are in the airport, y'all.
I
But
know it. And
it just
anywhere
shows
in
the
Vegas, you can go
addiction.
to the corner store in Vegas and put in money in a slot. I mean, it's just everywhere that you go. But so is alcohol, so are drugs, so is tooting, so is everything. I mean, anything can be in addition. Food, like you go to Vegas, gambling, food, and then
Which
ho
is
ho.
why I don't condemn anyone who has an addiction. I just tell them to go get help. There's no
And
because
help is
I
there.
understand how it is to have an addiction. So there's no me getting down on them. No, I will encourage them to get the help that they need. That's
I
it.
think all of us have some type of vice,
Oh
but
yeah, I think
I
so
I
too.
mean, I think it would be weird if we don't. I mean, even if you're a straight laced person, that's a vice. Everybody has
Everything is a
something
vice, yeah.
that we are battling. Let's see how this gentleman talks about how it's ruined his life, though.
Nope. It could.
No?
Don't
Nope.
like us? Okay,
Not yet.
it don't like us. Well, we did have one more stat, and I stopped you guys on that stat, so we'll go back
That's
to that
okay.
one in a minute.
Deborah, go ahead and flash this stat. It's stuck for me, please.
Get some game show music. Okay,
Uh-huh.
mobile Betty naps. Yeah, we got that one with the
Yeah, we
24
did that.
hours a
It's
day.
the one the first one.
Okay, okay, we are okay. That one, we said that one. Household experiencing financial stress is more likely to gamble in the hopes of quick money.
You said that. It's the first one. You said that
Okay, the
one.
U.S. sports betting industry generates billions of dollars annually. Yeah, they do. And online gambling revenue has grown significantly over the past few years. Got a little tongue tied there. And studies show that a percentage of gamblers develop problematic or addictive behavior. And mobile betting allows people. All right, we did all four. Okay,
Yeah, that's all of
gremlins.
them. Yeah.
Oh, Anonymous knows I like my little gremlins come out every Friday. They come out every Friday sometimes. All right, so we have talked a little bit about how this affects people. But Micah, do you feel that gambling is kind of replacing traditional entertainment?
Not necessarily. I feel like it is sitting aside of traditional entertainment. I think that gambling is entertainment with more of an edge, right? So I don't think it's replacing it.
Gambling with a little bit of an edge. I could see that. I mean, but once again, we got to hit those dopamines, right? You got to feel something in order for you to move forward.
The dopamine, and then also people are wanting to deal with their feelings of disempowerment. So they're doing it through, gamification. If you spend any amount of time in Vegas and you kind of watch even the people that don't just travel there, but really the ones that are living there, especially the older ones, they are on a fixed income, and winning at gambling is literally how they survive. Because their fixed income it isn't enough. They have to play. They know, me and all my friends, we're going to get our checks on such and such a day at the first, second, or third of the month, and we're headed to the bingo room. Right? We're headed to the bingo room. We're headed to the penny slots because we don't have enough, and we have to sit here and we have to keep playing until something rings up so that we can afford groceries.
You know what? People ain't thinking about the bingo, but there's a lot of people who are seriously addicted to bingo. I used to go with my aunt. I could take it or leave it, but she couldn't drive at night. So I would take her. And at some point I had to tell her, I can't continue to take you, because one night became 2 nights. 2 nights became 3 nights. And then all of a sudden, every week, every day of the week, Wednesday is the win on Wednesday day, and everything's Friday, let's have fried fish day. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. Not only is this just ridiculous to me, but you're killing me with all this smoking in these rooms. I mean, but she was, and hardly ever does she win. Like I said, anything can be an addiction. But here's what's interesting. We did see a video earlier, and she was saying that, some of her clients were, disclosing that, they bet and they lose. So Tiara, do you think that people actually hide gambling habits from partners? Because like I said, when I sit down with people, if they're gambling, they're not telling me on their debit and income sheet.
Yes. Wait, can y'all hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right. Absolutely. Like every other addiction, right? Because people are ashamed. I'm not a therapist, but I assume that there's a bit of a shame that they can't like overcome this thing. So it's like, I have it under control, but you do not, right? I'm pretty sure the people that are the young lady, my aunties, right? That have gambling issues. Like a lot of our family doesn't know that. There's only there's only certain people that know that she struggles in the way that she might call and be like, I need to borrow some money because, she makes lots of money, but she also gambles a lot of money. So I think that people, it's not something you're proud of. It's not something people are, I think absolutely, things are being hidden from their partners for sure, because it can be a detriment to your life. Right. So.
Well, I will share with you this. That gentleman I told you about was married at one time, and he told me he lost his wife over it.
Yeah.
So he lost his wife, he lost his house, and he's going to be living in his car. And with him taking that cash for keys, I'm pretty sure he's not going to have that car very much longer either. Like, I don't know what happened to him, but if you can't even pay your car note, you can pay your house note. What your car note is next. But this, we always talk about regulations. America's good about regulating, right? So you got to regulate everything. You got to regulate the water. You got to regulate the air. You got to order the light. So Yolanda, do you think there should be stricter regulations on these betting apps? Because to me, they seem like, you can always lie, baby. Okay. Like you're going to, how old are you? Let me see. Well,
25.
tell you the truth. Like, so should there be more regulations and like because kids can do it and just put in a
Yeah, that's what I
mall?
was going to say. Yes, but how? How? What are they regulating? Like you said, you can lie. You can definitely lie. This is an app, unless they come up with some type of AI that takes a face scan of you and a fingerprint of you while you're. I mean, shoot. Remember, that's my idea, y'all, because they like to take your ideas. But anywho, yes, there
They
needs
do
to
it
be
in
some
now.
type of
Wherever we go,
regulation,
they
but
can see who we
how?
are.
Yeah. Everything
Wherever
is
we go,
blocked.
they can see who we are, what we look like. They got our fingerprints on our phone, everything. It can be
Yeah,
regulated if it wants to, but they're using
exactly.
that regulation for the wrong things right now. Okay, okay, let's look at a video real quick and we'll get back into the conversation.
Ruin your life. You see all these betting, them, all these betting platforms, it will destroy you faster than HIV/AIDS. Gambling almost ruined my life. Me where they talk to una, so gambling almost destroyed me. If not for God with heaven, gambling don't finish me before. Una know say me at anything I talk from experience. I'm not gonna mention any betting platform. I'm not gonna mention their name. But if you know say you dey heavily into gambling, better stop now. Gambling, the kind of addiction we dey inside gambling, see, it pass cocaine. I don't know the kind demonic thing they don't put for inside that thing where be say it go make you they won't come back to the matter, but it will destroy you faster than AIDS. I'm telling you from experience. Gambling almost finished me. I spent more than 15 million naira for gambling. See, run from gambling. I'm telling you guys, run from gambling. Oh. From betting, run. All those sure odds then, the odds sure. See, run from gambling.
I'm laughing at anonymous ass saying the ninjas with the accents be funny as hell. That's why I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at that young man. I was laughing at anonymous ass comment.
But you can feel his warning, like, he was literally coming, the energy was coming through, like, run
It
from it, don't
was.
do this, right?
Y'all
But
didn't understand.
what you definitely understand, right?
That's
But
all bad. When you
so
like, you can feel the energy. It's like I didn't understand nothing you said.
I did, because you
Okay.
run from it. You need to run from it. But you can run from anything. You can run from anything. Listen,
Oh my
listen.
God.
I'm a true crime freak. Do you know people are addicted to love? They get addicted to people. So it's not just things like betting. These addictions are something we have to really address in our lives. And how do we do that when especially our type of communities, our Black communities, a lot of the times we don't deal with therapy. Anonymous, be quiet. Because I know that's the first thing you're going to say. But a lot of our communities don't want to deal with any kind of help and any therapy. So these addictions are running rampant. So, Michael, why do you think people are more excited about betting than they are investing? Because, come on, let's be real. That's actually kind of the same thing. Or am I wrong?
I think it is, but go ahead, Michael.
There are some similarities, right? Especially depending on what type of investing that you're doing. I think that with investing, there's a learning curve to it, right? And especially in order to be successful at it. With betting, there isn't really that much of a learning curve. I mean, it is so easy. I mean, how hard is it to sit up there to download an app, watch their little preview, let you play some free games so you understand how it works. And after you understand how it works, now they're like, put some real money behind it, and they'll let you feel what it feels like to win on the free games. So that you're like, oh, this is how it really runs. And then after you put your money in, the algorithm changes. So there's no learning curve. All you have to do is click, go or push or spin, whatever it is, right? And it's done. It is not necessarily like that with investing. We just use Forex, for example, right? Which is honestly like another form of gambling. I will absolutely say that Forex is gambling. But you have to learn in order to properly to do that successfully. The other games, not so much.
I mean,
I
there
just
was one time I was addicted to penny stocks. I was
Oh
really addicted to
man.
Yo, I was putting all my money up in that bitch. And I lost so much money just being in penny stock. So that's why I said it has a lot of similarities to gambling. Yeah, it does. Like
If you know
investing
what you
does.
if you know what you
You can lose a lot in investing. You really can.
if you know what you are I think that's why it's so important to just be educated on what you are putting your money into, because you can put people will take your money, right?
Of
Like
course.
it, but I think that if you have a strategy, and it's not like I'm putting $1,000 into an app and then they just take it. With the stock market, you can diversify that $1,000 and put it different places and watch it grow possibly. But just depending on what you put your money into. And I know you really can't, you don't know. I guess everybody is thinking like, what's the next Amazon stock? What's the next Microsoft, right? I think that's where the mentality is like, but if you consistently put your money into the stock market over years, like it's gonna grow. I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
just
it's
is
it's
what it
also like the
is.
same with people how they put their money into some of those bitcoins coins. What you call it? The what you call Bitcoin?
Bitcoin,
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Bitcoin, you going
So they put their money behind it,
crypto?
but a lot of people lost money once Bitcoin went down to that $60,000 mark, and then some people put money back into it because they knew it was going to go back up. So it really is a gamble, no matter how you look at it. It's a gamble.
but what isn't in today's world, y'all? Like anything can destroy our families if we allow them to. So, okay, listen, what can we do? Can we educate a little bit more in our families? I mean, it seems like we're educated on everything. And in black households, you better educate your sons on how to deal with the popo when they leave the house. Okay, that's a
Yeah,
gamble. All
yeah.
right, I'm speaking facts. Facts about that. So how can we? And I want to hear this
Thank
from all of you. How do you see that we can educate our families on these addictions and kind of let them understand that anything can be an addiction and how you can handle it for yourself and also as a family unit. So I'm going to start with you, Micah, on that.
Oh man. I'm gonna be like straightforward on this. I feel like when it comes to me educating my family, I have so much to educate them on. I kind of feel like if I were to touch on this, it would almost seem like, okay, Micah, you're being just like you're overreacting, you're being overbearing, you're trying to make sure that you're being too careful on every little thing. Because the truth of the matter is like out in the world, they have to watch out for everything, right? And I cannot possibly guide their mental health on everything that exists. It's kind of like, hey, if you're gonna gamble, gamble responsibly, right? And I feel like for me at least, like I have to leave it at that. There's no way that I can get in front of everything that they're going to, face. Sometimes it just has to be like, well, let's deal with it when we get there. That's me.
Yeah, because you know what, you can go down a million roads. I mean, I think where we are, my thought on this is to communicate in your family. Just be communicative. Like really sit down and really talk about, hey, the world is rough out there. No matter what you come up against, you are going to be able to get through it with the support of our family. There's nothing that you can't do where we don't love you. Like I always told my son, listen, son, if you do something illegal, mama gonna stand by you. She's not gonna let you get away with it. Mama gonna stand by you and we're gonna love you regardless. But I think it's all about making sure that you let people know that they are loved, because a lot of the time these addictions are tied into the feeling of not being loved and not having any kind of hope. And so when people are really searching for that, they're trying to replace that love. I'm no therapist, I ain't no Joe, but I do know when they're missing something in their lives, this is when these addictions start really uh, encroaching upon people's lives. And I think that we have to address that as the families just by instilling that love and
I agree.
instilling knowing that they have a good support system. Tiara, do you think that I'm off on that?
She didn't hear you because she
Oh,
was
she
out.
didn't hear me. Okay, Yolanda, do you think I'm off on that?
No, you're not off because this is a conversation that I personally just had with my son, and this is a conversation that I've had with him for many years about self love and making sure that he recognized what addiction is, because I personally didn't know I had an addiction until I dated someone who had an addiction. Yeah. So I didn't know my addiction to food, for instance, was the same as a drug addict, in some instance. So with my kiddo, I remember one time he was getting a little bit too chunky. All right. And I was like, that's when I started having the addiction conversations with him, like trying to regulate his food, exercise, being a little bit more balanced. And anytime we do talk, and I know what you're saying, Micah, it is exhausting trying to like pinpoint every little, you can't touch every little thing. You kind of like have to go through things as they come along. As they come along, you address it. So with my kiddo, I do tell him always to love himself deeply. And if he going to do that shit, make sure he do it because he wants to do it, not because somebody else wants him to do it, and also to also recognize addiction and always try to be balanced in everything that you do. Because there's nothing wrong with gambling, but you have to have a balance. That's it.
It's nothing wrong with anything as long as you keep it in check. But I won't
Correct.
say that not anything, but you know what I mean,
I know.
right?
Check
So like
yourself before you wreck yourself. That's what's
right,
up.
right. That's right. I agree. So listen, we're gonna start winding this down. I kind of got a little off track there because I got into this conversation. But before we actually go into our final thoughts, I do want to share with you this is the last Friday of February, and it is the last day of Black History Month. Don't get it twisted. Every single day of the year is Black history, and it ain't just America, it is all over the world, baby. They want everything we got but the struggle. And let me tell you who I want to talk about today. I want to talk to you about Hattie McDaniel. Yes, Hattie McDaniel. She was the first African American to win an Academy Award. She won the Best Supporting Actress for her role in Gone with the Wind. And though she was forbidden from attending the premiere in Atlanta due to segregation, her victory marked a major milestone in breaking down racial barriers in Hollywood. A couple of other things that you don't know about Hattie McDaniel is that her leading man in that role also fought for her to be able to get that award. And Hattie McDaniel had it going on in Los Angeles, California, y'all. When I say there is a Black Hollywood section, there is a Black Beverly Hills, Ladera Heights. Okay. She had a massive mansion there, and she would throw these wonderful parties for all the Black socialites to come. And it was just a shindig. Everybody to this day talks about who all went there, how fancy it was, and how classy she was. And then, of course, people started talking about, well, I ain't gonna pay no maid. Baby, somebody had to open that door for you to get in and play the superhero. So today we honor Hattie McDaniel. And she won that award in 1940. Remember her name? Look her up and really learn her story. We thank you, Hattie McDaniel. All right, so we are going to start winding it down a little bit. We're going to have our final thoughts. And once you give me your final thoughts, ladies, can you please tell us where we can find you? I'm going to start with you, Micah.
Sorry. So yeah, my final thought of the day is that if you are considering gambling or you're involved in this the way that we've talked about today, just make sure that you put guardrails and limits on yourself, that you're being responsible about it, and you are not gambling away your future. Okay. And all of us here at the Fly Nubian Queen channel, we absolutely, we care about you, right? And we don't want to see you lose the things that you love. With that said, in the event that any of you want to find me, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Micah the Creator with a K. And if you are interested in learning about artificial intelligence, you can try a 7-day free trial with me at www.aiempiresociety.com.
You better jump in on this because it ain't going away, baby. It's not going away. It's now going to be a part of our everyday life. You can fight it all you want to, but it is going to be there. People are actually putting it in their job descriptions now that they want people who understand a little bit of AI. I don't care if it's even just helping you type a paper. They want to see that on your resume. And Micah can really help you. She has a very solid foundation in this. And if you want to learn, you need to learn from the best. And I'm telling you, Micah is the best. So please make sure that you go and check her out and get yourself straight on what's going on in the world. Tiara, what are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Gambling bad. That's it. No, I'm just playing. I just thought about I was just thinking about just the society we live in. We often talk about capitalism every day, and this one thing that capitalism is going to do is exploit us, exploit people. Companies are, like I said before, are paying attention to the things that we are doing to exploit us and to get money from us. So just be mindful of that. That's I mean, at this point, if you are betting on live traffic, because that was what kind of like prompted this conversation. I saw somebody betting on live traffic, and I was like, for you to be for you to be betting on traffic, like life has had to hit a low. I mean, it's something. Something's happening there. So I just would encourage you to stop that shit and go outside and go walk in and go work out and go, like I feel like we just spend way too much time on these gadgets in front of
Yeah.
on social media. Social media is not a real place. I'll say that every day from the mountaintops. I would just say go out and meet real people. Men, go find women, right? Like don't be lonely. And on the it's I know it's easy to say, but it's hard to do. It's easy to do, but I guess it's easier to say than to do. But I just say just go outside.
Go
If
outside.
you are
Okay.
looking for me, I am at Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching today.
Please make sure that you go and follow her because, guys, when I say she does it all, we talk about one man band. She does it all. She produces, she sings, she creates. Listen, Tierra is a big old ball of creativeness and it's all
Mm,
positive.
mm.
So, you even need to just be around her to get a little bit of her electric energy. So please make sure that you follow and you definitely support. She does have an album out, y'all. And you know what? We must really support our local artists. It takes a lot to put out what we put into these things, the feelings, the emotional, the time, the everything. Go support local artists. Yolanda, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
My final thought is this: 14 years ago on this day, I was watching the Kardashians and I said, why the hell am I sitting here watching these people live their lives? I turned the TV off, I got on my computer, and I started Michael Whitney and Associates, which is my company. I gambled on myself. We're celebrating our 14 years in business. I'm about to cry. And it was the best gamble I've ever done. So, guys, if you're going to gamble, gamble on something that's big for you. Do you gamble on yourself? Take the risk and put it into yourself, and you just may win big. I'm so proud of us. Anywho, you can reach me at mwhitney.com if you need some insurance. We can insure anything, even your pinky toe. We're at the end of February, which is the Insure Your Love month. So if you need life insurance, give us a call. We can help you. And again, if you're going to gamble, gamble on yourself. Gamble big.
Y'all, she's not kidding. Insurance is not for the dead. It is for the living. So you need to make sure that you get some of that living and go ahead and contact Yolanda because you know what? I always tease and say you got to get some of that energy too because just talking to her will energize you because and the anywho will get you. The anywho. So you want to make sure that you get a little bit of that. Okay. So make sure that you go and check her out. And then I don't mean just check her out. I mean, really go and talk to her and invest in yourself. Gamble on yourself. Now listen, my little final words, I can't even come in after that. Gambling on yourself is the best bet. Anything that you want to do in life is a gamble, but you are worth the winning. So make sure that whatever it is, if you see yourself going down the wrong, ain't no shame in your game to go get help and to admit that you have a problem. Mine is food. Lala has always had a problem with food. I still battle it to this day, but I do my very best to keep it in check and to keep my health in order. It's not always easy, especially when you're addicted to something that you need to live. But everybody actually has something, but you are worth it in the end. So make sure that you take care of you. Where you can find me is laurakey.net. I have some wonderful new projects coming up that I have been working very hard on, and it is gambling on you. It is time for you to get out here and be seen in these streets to help grow your business and thrive. And so I have a new company called Seasoned and Seen. If you want to get in on that early, just go to my website, sign up for my newsletter, because I will be keeping you up to date on everything about that. Gamble on you. Because, baby, you got the experience and people are looking for you. So, laurakey.net. Now, listen. Gambling apps, well, they're designed to keep people playing. And if we're serious about ownership, investing, and building wealth, and we have to be honest about where our money is going, even that little Starbucks thing, right? Every bet placed is money that could be going towards your savings or investing or paying down your debt or funding a business idea. So I want to say thank you to our panel and thank you to everyone watching. Make sure that you are liking, commenting, subscribing. You don't want to miss the show. Most of y'all here every day, you don't even need a reminder. But if you do need a little reminder, all you need to do is text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948. And you want to make sure that you get that notification every day. I want to say thank you to our family here. It is our last Friday, so go out here and do some fun on this. Go do something black. Blackity, black, out in these streets. We thank you, the Real Black Lexicon, Anonymous, Deborah. We have so many people that are here all the time. Hey, James, I think you're new to me. Thanks for being here today. Listen, if you see that someone is struggling, guys, also make sure that you're being a good human and you're also talking to them and let them know, hey, I see your struggle. Let us also try to do something to help you as well. Be good. Go out and be a good human, y'all. I love you. We'll see you on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out.